Hey guys, my name is Michael and I'm the product manager here at Weinig USA.
I'm Shawn Pogue, applications specialist here in the showroom for Weinig USA.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. Today Shawn and I are going to talk a little bit about the new Weinig Cube Plus. So this is the Cube is around for a couple of years now, but we finally got one back in our showroom here in Mooresville. It's a great little machine for some smaller to mid-size shops that are looking to do some simple straightening, planing, S4S applications.
What we're going to do is go through some of the very cool features of the machine and what makes it very, very safe for anyone in the shop to be able to walk up and actually just plug in the sizes that they're after and send the machine to position and be completely comfortable with the machine and not having to worry about kickbacks, parts stopping in the machine, all those kind of things that would normally go down. So we're going to kind of pull over here to the front end just to show you one of the cool features about it. You can see I just put a block up there on the front, and what it's doing is at any time on the Cube, when we put in a size that we're after, it's going to show us or project out with lasers on the part to show us exactly if we're going to get that piece that we're desiring the size out of. If it has too much bow, we know exactly how much we need to take out of it. Both the fence and the table plate are also motorized along with the top and the left. So we at any point can run a 10 1/4 wide part in width, and the height we're capable of running 6 1/4. And to make this look pretty cool here, we're going to have Michael just take it and come on over here. And you can see the lasers will go from, we're in a pretty large cross section here on the board itself. So you can see the lasers are now coming down, showing the width and thickness with the different colors. So basically anywhere in between that zone of 10 1/4 wide down to 1 inch wide, we can simply walk up and tell the machine where to go to.
Right. Just talking a little bit more about the safety features that Shawn mentioned. I just want to show it on the machine. As we can see, that in-feed flap here is controlled by the machine. So the opening here is just very small, just enough for the material to go in. Very similar on the outfeed. So overall, it's a very safe machine. You see everything is enclosed. Very little room for operators to get their hands in the machine. So Shawn, let's open up the machine and take a look.
Just one quick thing on the safety too. Michael, go ahead and put it back in 10 1/4 by 6 1/4. We'll just let it open up, and this is going to just elaborate a little bit on the safety gate he was talking about. So even though the machine is opened up and there are some things inside we'll see in just a minute, to keep us from oversizing something, trying to jam something in, taking too much off, stopping the machine. So we can see we're kind of back at full stroke on the machine, and you can see this is the safety gate that's up inside of there. So it is full down on the table itself, closing up against the fence. So it will not allow anything to be pushed into the machine until we break this little photo eye right here, and then that will open up and allow the board to be pushed in. Once it sees the end of the board making a transition past that photo eye, it drops that gate down again so that nothing can come back out on the operator, again, because we could have a very large throat or opening in that area. Okay, so very, very safe machine. Anybody again can just walk up and start running it. So right now, another safety feature is once we open this hood, you'll notice that the actual control panel goes into a freeze mode. So there's nothing we can do over there to start the machine, activate any motions of the machine, nothing at all. Okay, so if you want to have a quick look in the front end where the parts will be coming into the machine.
So as you can see, the Cube has 4 heads, 4 cutter heads. We have a bottom, a right, left, and a top cutter head. The cutter heads stay inside the machine at all times. We have a couple different tooling options. On a standard, how we stock the machine, it comes with the central lock, easy lock cutter heads with reversible high-speed steel knives. So what that means is you simply take your Allen wrench here, loosen up that set screw, you slide out the knife, flip it around, put it back in, and you're back in business. We have 2 more options on that machine. Same cutter heads, but with carbide inserts. That would be more for hardwood applications. And then we can also put spiral heads on that machine.
Yep. So if you move over here a little bit, just kind of looking at the guts of the machine, you can see how tight the hoods are to the actual cutting circles themselves. So obviously we cannot, and don't ask folks, put any kind of a small profile on this machine. That is not what it's for. But the other thing is because we can move to any given size at any time on the width, there's also a secondary rail that runs with the left side cutter head. So you may not see it from here, but there's just an extension of a rail right here. It runs over in front of the cutter head itself, because you can see a large cavity in between there. So we can't have anything to be able to drop down in and catch as the boards are running through the machine. So that's why that exterior plate is there in front of it. So here you can see a little better of the cutter head and how tight the area is around that. You also have probably noticed, as soon as we pop the door open, how small these rollers are. That again is what allows us to get up high enough to get into some of the thicker material to come through the machine. If we had a standard roller on there, it would significantly reduce the height of product we can get through there. Okay, so this is where we kind of see the back side of all those colorful lasers up there. And we have some adjustments here that we can make up inside of the machine, just to make sure that we are looking square, because we are projecting those lasers out, possibly down an 8-foot board or a 6-foot board. We want to make sure that if we want to see a bow cut out of the piece, that laser is lying on the side of there where our peak area is, and we know we got it or not, or we can actually just say, hey, take a little more off. Okay, so like Michael was saying, there's even just as simple as this is, it's showing us step 1 through 7 of how to replace those blades on there. Did you touch on the spirals?
No, I just said it's available. So, like Shawn's going to mention, we can have spiral heads on the machine.
Yeah, the main reason that we do go with this type of tool is because we want a finished product coming off of the machine. If a customer has a lot of glued up type of blocks and things like that, they're probably going to do another process afterwards. So at that time, we can either choose then to go with a carbide single knife, or if we know there's another process after it, we can go with those traditional type of spiral tools like a lot of people use out there, maybe on a first top or first bottom on a molder. We just kind of let it run until it screams and they rotate the bits.
Right.
So those are options to put on the machine. It does make the machine run a little quieter with those spiral heads.
Yeah, I think it's a great little machine for some simple SFRS applications. One of the key benefits, the key features, advantages for you guys to have a cube is that the cube doesn't require a molder operator to run the machine. Basically, anybody in the shop can just come up, set the size that he wants to run. The machine is going to position automatically, and due to the safety features, there's very little chance for mistakes or errors. Machine is going to position automatically. You just run the material that you want to run, and you just keep on going to the next task.
Michael, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I've heard a marketing manager can even run this machine on his own.
Maybe we have to test that in another video. I don't know. Let's see. All right, Shawn. Also, the cube is here right in front of us. It's a pretty small footprint, right?
Very much so.
Do you have a tape measure?
Oh, I do.
Check that out.
So, just looking across the nose of it.
Way over here.
Full length. Closure to enclosure, we're looking at 11 feet. Okay. And I'll just stretch it across the tail end because it's not much wider than my arms. And we're looking at roughly 5 feet deep.
Also on the top, let's close that down real quick. We have one dust collection port that basically inside the machine there is a split that has all the different hoses to the different heads. Yeah, I think that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us here at Weinig.